Alrighty then. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Priscilla. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a trendy kind of thing that keeps happening with crafts and everything is painting on, you know, those little wood palettes that are like coasters, or you can just get a bunch of like chopped up pieces of wood and stuff like that. It's really trendy, and it's a bit shabby chic almost. But today, for a last minute gift idea, I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and paint some galaxy things on some wooden coasters. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead and look at materials. Now you can get these wooden coasters from Walmart, Target, Home Goods Store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They're everywhere, and I mean it, they're everywhere. And so for paint, we're going to use acrylic paint. I am using the brand Liquitex. And what you're going to need are the colors for your galaxy. So it could be nebula colors, it could be galaxy colors. The typical galaxy colors are purple, dark blue, dark purple, light purple, and pink, and light and black. And then there's like the green, blue galaxies and everything. And then nebula is like assortment of reds and stuff like that. But it's your choice when it comes to acrylic paint. That's what you're going to want to use. Now, you probably want some kind of a blending tool, so sponges really come in handy. Now, you can get some sponges from the painting section at Lowe's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. They're everywhere. So sponges, you're going to want at least a couple of little sponges to blend these in. So the first thing you want to do is you go ahead and pick out the first colors that you want to use on your little wooden coaster. Now these don't have to be coasters, just keep in mind you could totally do this on a big sheet wood palette. I don't know what they're called. They're just pieces of wood. But what I'm going to start off with first is my pink, dark purple, blue, black, and white. And it's always best to start with the darkest and then blend to the lightest. So I started with my blue here. After I went with my blue, I went ahead and I grabbed my purple and I started to blend in the blue and purple together. Now here's another thing that I did. This is an option as well. I made a mountain. So, you know, you see those little viral little mountain doodles, whether it's galaxy or it's just little itty bitty watercolor doodles with the mountains or the tree silhouettes and everything. They're all over Pinterest. But I made a mountain, and I just made a basic little mountain, and then I blended in my pink, purple, and blue using my sponge for the first layer. Now you guys know I like to double task, so after I was done blending in this first layer, I set it over to dry, and in case you don't want to do a mountain, we're about to do just a plain galaxy wooden coaster one. So for the next coaster, while I'm waiting on the other one to dry, I went ahead and I grabbed my blue, and I don't know if you guys have seen like those galaxy Google pictures. You Google galaxy pictures and you see kind of ones that are like starburst right in the middle going down the way and everything. So that's what I wanted to do for this one. And this time I'm going to stick with my blues. So I'm taking a light blue, a darker blue, a kind of an aqua blue, and my black and white for this one. So I'm putting blues on the outside, and you can't really tell from here, but they are different shades of blue. So I went ahead and I just kind of blended them in together. And once I was done blending them in together with my brush, I went ahead and grabbed my sponge and I went ahead and blended from the lightest color into the darkest colors. Now that my first coaster is most likely dry, I'm going to go ahead and apply white onto my little mountain piece so that can go ahead and dry. So I'm gonna let that little mountain dry, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna grab my second coaster and start the second layer on my second coaster. So I'm gonna grab the dark blue and I'm gonna blend that in, and then I'm gonna grab my whitish blue because it's baby blue, and I'm gonna go ahead and just apply that in different places and everything, just a whole new second layer, and I'm blending it in with my brush, and then I take my sponge and I go ahead and blend that in together. And as you can see, I'm still keeping that starburst in the middle, and then I grab my black, not too much, and I just go around the edges, and that's when I take my sponge and I blend it all the way through and I just bring it to the center. Just don't get too close to the center. Have a couple of elements of black coming towards the center, but you want to make sure you keep that white center starburst there. Now, coming back to my first coaster, once it's completely dry, I'm going to go ahead, take my pink, and then I'm going to jump into my dark purple and blend that in with my brush. And yes, I do wash off my brush within like different paints. I don't like having the same color sometimes, just because I want it to be like just that color alone and not the blended in. But I do like in between colors, I do like to wash off my brush. So then after I have all the three colors in place once again, I grab my sponge, and this time I'm pulling the blue and purple down into the pink a little bit more. And I'm going to grab my pink, apply that to the purple, and then I'm gonna bring that up, and you can still see the purple color going up into the blue sky. And then I'm gonna grab my black, and just like we did on the second coaster, just a little bit, and you just want to get around like the horizon of the focal point. So that would be the mountain, so it's like a horizon above the mountain, and I'm putting a couple of dots around it just so I can go ahead and blend that in with my sponge. And now, just to add a little bit of clouds into the sky, I'm going to take my white paint and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that in different areas. And then I'm going to take my sponge. I'm going to wash off my sponge first. I do put the sponge in the full water cup and I rinse it off. And then I go ahead and blend that going upwards. Now for the third layer on my second coaster, I went ahead and I grabbed a little bit more of my baby blue and I applied it to the center just because I wasn't satisfied with the stardust that was in the middle. And then I grabbed my sponge and I went ahead and blended that around. And then I went ahead and grabbed a little bit more of my dark blue and blended that into the whitish blue, baby blue. And then I went ahead and blended that in. And then I went back to my black and applied it around the sides once again, just because I wanted that stardust to be a little bit bigger, that star explosion right in the middle. Now, since I let that dry for a little bit, what I want to do is I want to jump over to the mountains on my first coaster and I want to give them a little bit more of some definition. So I grabbed my baby blue that I was using on the second coaster and I went ahead and just gave it a little bit of mountainy-ish effects. So I was just basically trying to imagine where the snow caps were and where you could actually see the rocks on the mountain and everything, and I just used that baby blue just so it would look a little bit arctic and everything. So yeah, just give it a little bit of character and use your imagination. Then I went in with my white, and it didn't really matter to me that I was mixing in with the baby blue because it was giving it a really pretty effect. So I just went ahead and enhanced like the snow caps on the mountain and just went ahead and blended that in, and it looked great. Last but not least, you're going to want to add your stars once everything is dry and everything. I kind of didn't wait for this layer to fully dry because I wanted to go ahead and grab, sometimes when you grab a little bit of just like a tiny piece of your sponge and you lightly go ahead and blend in the white dots around, it looks like there are clouds of stars and it just really amplifies the star effect more and more. So I would highly suggest giving that effect, or if you just want to do stars and stars alone, then that can even work. And this kind of looks like snowflakes to me right now, so that's why I went ahead and I grabbed my sponge and started blending in the stars just a little bit. The same thing goes for this one. Now for this one though, my starburst is in the middle. So I was trying to keep all the stars like not, they were in various places around it, but I wanted to keep it in the middle. So that way I went ahead and tried to keep the stars at that starburst, stardust. Just looks like starburst, stardust. That's a lot of words of stars. And just to show you guys, to jump into a time lapse, this is how I did the other 2 coasters, since this was a coaster, the set of coasters of 4. And I used the same technique that I just taught you guys. One thing I highly suggest is you get some satin finish either from Lowe's, Michael's, or Hobby Lobby, and you go ahead and take out your coasters outside and go ahead and spray those with a protective sealant, because you're going to put drinks on these and they give them a nice shiny finish and everything. So it's just a way to protect them in your beautiful designs on your coasters. I highly recommend this. And plus, satin finish is always something really nice. Polyacrylic spray is always nice to invest in for any future projects that you might use if it's outside or if it involves water. It's just nice to have it around in case you have projects you want to protect. But that's basically it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I really hope you'll give these as gifts this Christmas or to your friends for their birthday or later down the road or anything like that. They make great gifts, and hey, I mean, even for your coffee drinking, tea drinking, or just people who don't want drinks on their wooden tables. Coasters, who knew? I mean, who knew? And they're super cute and they're good to stack and everything. So yes, guys, I really hope you give it a try. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later. Bye!